Welcome. This is Elaine Starling, the Abundance Ambassador, and I'm so glad you can join me for another episode of the Abundance Journey. You know me, nothing but the best. I bring in such wonderful high vibe people. You're going to love meeting Donna Fairhurst. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Donna is an inspirational soul life coach. She's a Reiki Master, a psychic medium, an empath, Auric, Chakra, and Angel Intuitive, and a holistic practitioner guiding her clients to create balance, clarity, calm, coherence, instant empowering, and powerful pivots that take them through any challenge. Challenge truly refines you or defines you. Surviving and thriving a journey through blindness, polio, divorce, bankruptcy, and multiple yo-yo to God near-death experiences has empowered Donna to live and teach zero to clarity principles. You can pivot powerfully when you know what you're doing. And that's why I'm so excited to chat with Donna today. Donna, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Elaine. I'm so excited to meet you again. Podapalooza was so much fun. You're an amazing host, and I'm thrilled to death and feel so abundant to be here. Thank you for the gift of this day with you.
Oh, well, I always love chatting with you, Donna. And give us a little bit of background about why you are so passionate about doing what you're doing. I mean, as a fellow near-death experience person, that really, really resonated with me. And obviously, you're doing this out of a deep love and respect and appreciation for the challenges that people are facing. What's your why story? How did you end up here?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I love the title of your podcast, the theme, The Abundance Journey, just about says it all. You know, we come in with nothing but the skin the bus that carries our soul, and we leave that bus behind. And the journey with the bus through our life is what empowers us to know ourselves, to grow with ourselves, to flow from ourselves, and then to glow, to shine a light for everyone else. That doesn't mean that there aren't bumps in the road. You know, mine were near blindness. I was born technically legally blind. My parents didn't even find it out until I was nearly 12 years old because I had what was a 4-body experience. I was able to see everything. If you were within 3 feet of me, I could see you as an outline. And when you got within a foot of me, I could see who you were and what, but everything was always this glorious haze of color. I saw auras and chakras and people's colors rather than their body. It was such a shock to me when I had surgery and then got these Coke bottle thick glasses at the age of 12 to actually see the real world. It took me about 4 to 15 years to recover from just seeing the way things really were, not the way I saw them with my heart's eye vision, I call it, not my mind's eye. And then I had polio, so that taught me to be silent and to be still and to let things come to me. And in that respect, I was able to connect with spirit and the angelic realm, and I was able to kind of synthesize what my child's mind did not know with my soul heart, which was, of course, very ancient. So that, and then I was given all of the experience of, multiple surgeries. I've had 58 moves in 71 years, a lot of them internationally, and none of them were particularly fun in the beginning. I had to create abundance in them to experience it as abundance in my life. And I was given, oh my God, dear God, so many teachers. I was suicidal. I was near alcoholic at one time in my life from depression. My divorces weren't easy on me. However, gird thy loins and, suck it up, buttercup. You've got to get up and go or die. And I thought I was choosing dying, then I chose to live. And since then, it still took me another 15 years to come out of the closet. I didn't come out of the closet as this, except to a very, very small group of friends, until I was 64 years old.
Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you for stepping up and owning who you truly are, because you are such a powerful, energetic being. And I felt your power as soon as we connected. I was really impressed with your high vibration, and you lift everybody else up as soon as you connect with them. And thank heaven, I'm not only connected with you now, but all of the listeners and viewers are connected with your energy. So that's really huge. So obviously you're passionate about it because of your incredibly challenging experiences that you had. But tell me, a lot of people don't quite understand the connection between the abundance journey and the energy journey that we're on. So how would you define abundance based on what you do with your clients?
Oh, gosh. Abundance is an energy that we cultivate and we manifest regardless of our circumstances or the place or the position in our life. Spiritually, it's the realization of inner plenty rather than outer lack. In the spiritual context, I would say the notion of abundance or plenty is less about material conditions and revolving instead around an appreciation for life in its fullness and for joy and strength of mind, body, soul. We're, just like the 4 quadrants of the compass, we are a mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual being encompassed in one, body of skin and bone. And like the ocean, we have waves and tides going through us with our circulation. That happens in our energy too. And every single word, every single thing that we say actually has an energy. Our words are the most powerful, energetic tool that we have.
I totally agree with that. I actually mentioned it in one of my first 4 podcasts. I'm blanking on which one it was, but yeah, the power of your words and which words you use make all the difference in how you experience your life and what you create in your life. So I totally agree with that. But, one of the challenges, I want to understand, what are the common challenges that you notice people have that they really struggle with?
I like to break it down by the word. So abundance, it starts with A, and A is the I am. And I am is the intention to manifest. So anything that you say is going to be a manifestation of I am, what you're declaring to be. So the A in abundance stands for awareness and attitude. And the B stands for being versus believing. We can be a lot of things, but we have to be in ourselves to believe in ourselves. So that's understanding. So the U in abundance stands for understanding your basic biases. We have inherited biases. They're lineage from our ancestors. We have actually energetic biases from past life experiences that we didn't resolve and we carry over. So understanding our abundance biases is the first step. And then the N in it stands for now. It's not about yesterday. Abundance isn't about what you had yesterday and you lost, or what you'll have tomorrow that you don't yet have. It's about living here now. And then I think the D would represent digging deep and defining abundance on every level of your being in that manner that's in your highest good and then the highest good of all concerned. Because you can be rolling in abundance and yet not know how rich you are. Can I give you a personal story that just happened?
Please, I would love it.
So my husband is a major high-level executive for a company here in Penticton, BC, and he has a lot of really brilliant young men under him. And of course, they're all striving and reaching. And one young man was supposed to be receiving a truck. And because of the pandemic and all of the, auto industry border stuff going on everywhere in the world, his truck was delayed and delayed and delayed. And he had to turn over his vehicle. And so my husband has this dream car that he waited and waited and waited until he was 64 to buy. And he bought it. And it's his pride and joy. And he just came home one day and said, "What do you think if I lend the Genesis to Josh?" And I went, "What?" For how long? You're going to actually, nobody ever drives it. Like, you're going to lend that car to somebody? And he said, absolutely. So he had it for 4 months, and he got his car yesterday. And my husband just came in the door a minute ago, and he said, oh, look it. Josh made us cookies, and they sent us a gift certificate for dinner. I told him he didn't have to do any of this, and he's got me a bottle of rum. And he said, I just feel so full of gratitude for what he gave me. And then he said, but the best gift is because I lent him the car with no strings attached and said, just take care of my baby and bring it back in the condition you found it. You know, his wife had a friend who was having some really difficulties with housing and that. This morning they went and gathered her up and invited her into their home and put her into their basement suite for as long as she needs until she gets on her feet. And he said, Frank, I did that because you were the example of unconditional love. To me, that's abundance.
Yes.
It's digging deep and not defining what your life is based on what's in your pocket. It's sharing what you've got with who's in your life or who shows up in your life in that manner that is in that highest good.
Wow.
And that's digging deep. So that's the D, digging deep and defining abundance on every level rather
taking notes.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So the second A, I think, would be to allow it to flow. Abundance is a river, and we flow through the river. There's all kinds of energetic rivers in our life. Just like the blood in us is a river in our body, and it ebbs and flows with the bam and the boom, or the om and the ah. So allowing it to flow and to go with the ebbs. Sometimes it's going to be ebbing and it feels like it's pulling away from you. The tide is out. The tide always comes back. You just have to be open to receive and not judge how and what you're receiving. And that's hard when you're on hard times.
Yes.
So, that N, the second N, is allowing it to flow. Abundance, the highs and lows of our abundance journey are, what you said earlier, they don't define us, they refine us.
Exactly.
If we choose it. So the C in abundance would be choice. We choose how we feel in every moment. And we need to own the highs and the lows and the ebbs and the flows and not blame it on other people. Keep on moving forward. Sometimes you leap, sometimes you step, and sometimes you crawl. And sometimes you're drugged, kicking and screaming by somebody else who sees the light. It's okay as long as you keep moving, because we end with the E in abundance, and it's choice, exploration, it's evolution. It's a part of our plan. And at the soul level, we chose it.
That is so beautiful. Wow. I never expected you to actually spell out the word abundance. And I love that you did that, because absolutely, words have incredible power. And when we delve down into what that true meaning is for us and how it means we show up, that makes all the difference in the world. So thank you so much for doing that. So, sometimes it's great to intellectualize something, and you explained it really clearly, but there has to be an internal shift at the same time. I shouldn't say but, and at the same time, there has to be an internal shift. What do we need to change inside? What can we do that will shift us into living that type of abundance that you just described?
Witness your blocks, feel what you feel, and choose again. Witness your blocks, because we always have a block to abundance. I had a really rough day yesterday where we had been waiting for the outcome of something for 5 years, and it was really a long, brutal energy day, and we were totally wiped at the end of it. And I had my cry, and I cuddled with my husband, and then we said, okay, up on, we move forward. We have more today than we had yesterday, and we'll have more tomorrow than we have today. It's just moving forward. And what we received was such a gift, and what wasn't what we had or expected. And yet somewhere in our head, we had a blockage about more. So we had to work through that last night. And I told Frank, synchronicity and God and all of this journey that we're on and this abundance. And I brought you up and I said, I'm doing a podcast on abundance with Elaine Starling tomorrow. And how in God's name is all of this showing up exactly 24 hours before, and I envisioned when I booked this date that the day before was going to be like a super happy, exciting, wonderful moment. And it was the exact opposite of that. And I thought, how's that for like prequeling something through your visioning that doesn't show up as what you want, and yet you have to say, whoa, that was a kick in the kahunas, and I need to pick myself up, put my big girl panties on, and go forward.
And, I experience it just a little bit differently, because I experience every time we have something that the stuff hits the fan and it's not what we wanted and it's really upsetting. I feel like that is God leaning on the doorbell going, hello, right here, ready to partner up with you. Stop trying to make it so hard. Stop trying to control everything. Partner up with us. We're ready to take over and make things happen as soon as you're ready to stop playing Twister. If you're having fun tying yourself in knots, knock yourself out, sweetheart. But, we're here and we can help whenever you're ready. So to me, it's about commit again, recommit to what's truly important to you and hold that course, hold that emotional course of being the abundance that you're looking for. And it all starts to line up.
And commitment is that is so beautiful that you said that. I wish abundance had another C in it, or maybe we'll put choice/commitment, because that's the way it is. It's not about making life a prosperity game. It's about making life a choice in bountiful living with what shows up as bounty, and seeing it as bountiful rather than lacking.
Yes. Very true. Very true.
The other thing is to always say a prayer for abundance. I know you have an abundance format that you do, energy exercise that you do, and I can't wait to experience it. And, early on in my journey, for myself, I created an energetic toolkit, and I call it the Zero to Clarity Toolkit. And the second most important thing in that toolkit is, I have a manifesting prayer, clearing and manifesting prayer. And the second thing is an angel invocation that is about how we express abundance.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I was going to ask you, what's your favorite way to help people experience abundance? Given all that you do, you have so many different tools and so many different things. What's a great thing that people can get started with?
The first thing I do is give them my energy toolkit. And I say, if all you do is the clearing prayer, which, by the way, is a gift that your listeners are going to receive if they choose to avail themselves of it later.
Yay!
But I always like to give attention to all of the energy centers in my body. And I start, of course, with God, Spirit, Source, Creator, whatever that is for you. And I bring that in with a clearing prayer. I anchor that with an abundance and activation invocation with the angelic realm. And then for my own health and energy with Source and the angels, God and the angels working with me, I work on each chakra, starting at the crown chakra, with an I am manifestation chakra affirmation. And it goes through each one of them. I ground it to the earth. And then if I really need to do some power healing, then I have a different set of Reiki affirmations that we bring back the energy. So it's like a rolling, flowing ball of energy. And one of the littlest tips, the best tips I've ever had, is if you're ever having a really bad moment, just take your left hand with your right hand, gently hold it with your forefingers, and gently do the infinity symbol on the palm of your hand. And then do that about 7 to 8 times, and then press on the middle. You'll instantly feel a little heart thing when you press that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, do the infinity thing, the figure 8, and then press. It's all of your chakras. You have many chakras in the palms of your hand and the soles of your feet. That's why in ancient Ayurvedic times, they would do the painting on the hands, the symbols on the hands, and kind of all palm reading, everything came from that energetic principle.
Wow.
Reflexology is a new science that's based on the old science of clearing energy through the feet.
Right.
And the fastest way to remove toxins from your body is through your hands and your feet.
So, Donna, obviously, sadly, we just don't come with a magic wand, do we? And always, all of us would really love to have the outcome like now. How about instant? Yesterday would be even better. But if I can't have it yesterday, right now would be perfect. And that's just not how this stuff works. What are the baby steps that we should be paying attention to that show us we're making some progress?
I want you to tap into your heart. Your heart is always going to tell you where you are, even if it feels like it's breaking. It will never let you down. We have a habit as a society, as humanity, of doing and doing and doing. And I always say you're either a human being with yourself, being with others, being with purpose, or you're a human doing. And you do and do and do, and then you end up with a bunch of doo-doo, and you have to swing back to being because the doo-doo isn't working anymore, right? You're in it and you need to get out of it. And the only way you can do is to choose again and to step into it. Life isn't about what you do. It isn't about what you have. It isn't about who you are. It's about being in purpose, on purpose, with purpose, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whoever you're with, whatever is happening, you have the ability to choose. And
I love that.
Can let you down.
That was really brilliant, Donna.
Oh, thank
really
you.
Brilliant. Really brilliant. I am so excited that you have offered this toolkit to us. I really appreciate it. Could you tell us a little bit about what's inside your toolkit?
The toolkit, you're not going to receive the whole toolkit. You're going to receive the manifesting prayer.
Perfect.
That manifesting prayer, so the toolkit, when you work with me, comes in a beautiful silk bag, and it has all of the affirmations.
Wow.
Each one of this is an energy principle and an affirmation that works on the energy for each chakra. And then you have the clearing prayer. We could do the clearing prayer together right now. It's not very long.
I so appreciate that. And I want to leave a little bit of mystery and encourage everyone to go and sign up. And of course, the link is going to be in the show notes, so it's easy for you to find. Now, we always turn the tables on our guests because our guests are incredibly generous and we so appreciate all that you do. We want to find a way to support you also. So what's something that we could do to support you, Donna? What would really be helpful for you?
Oh, well, I belong to a beautiful tribe of women called Women Like Me. And one of the women who I'm going to invite you to invite to be a guest on here is Julie Fairhurst. We are no relation whatsoever. Julie found me through Facebook and saw the name and thought, well, we must be related in some way because there's so few Fairhursts around. And she reached out to me through Facebook, and it turns out that she's also a coach, and we have so many life journeys in common. And she's empowering women in so many ways, and she's created this writing group called Women Like Me, and we're working through different principles, and different women contribute to different books. And here are two of them. Women Like Me, the community. This one is about messages to my younger self. And this one is about sharing words of gratitude. And I just wrote my first chapter for a compilation called Pieces of My Heart, 2 Angel Interventions and 7 Miracles. So that's one thing you can do. And by the way, all of the proceeds of any Woman Like Me book that you buy on Amazon, all of the proceeds go to breast cancer research.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And as a cancer survivor, not breast cancer, thank you, but a cancer survivor, and having lost my very dearest friend in the whole world in September to breast cancer, and 2 of my grandmothers, I really am invested in this. So please reach out, buy a book, support a woman that's going through the journey with it.
I'll make sure that I have those links as well. to those books, and I'll make sure that those are in the show notes so that everyone can support you that way. Thank you, Donna. Thank you for doing that. Because pleasure. It takes us coming together as a community to help each other. And when we do, magic happens. It does every single time. So thank you for igniting that and inspiring all of us to participate as a community.
Well, you know, every woman, every man has a story. And I know so many people that they tell me something. I said, you need to tell that. You need to share that with people. There's somebody out there waiting to be inspired by that story. And we undervalue our journey. This is why what you do is so incredibly important. Because the abundance journey for me is about inspiring other people to share their journey so that they can inspire people, so that we can create this ring of inspirational energy around the world where whenever we need it, we can dip our toe in that pool and pull out something that's going to serve us.
You know, it's really interesting because while we are each on our own unique journey, at the same time, we're in the same Jeep. We're going over the same speed bumps and potholes, and we're going to the same scenic overlooks, but we all experience something different every time. Mm-hmm. And so when we can support each other and compare notes on what our experiences are, it uplifts everyone involved. It empowers everyone involved. We just sync up our energy and we lift the energy of the planet. So I really appreciate what you're doing, Donna. I cannot thank you enough for taking the time to join me today for the abundance journey. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's so my pleasure. I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm so inspired by what you do.
Excellent. Well, stick around because we're going to activate abundance in just a minute. Wasn't she amazing? I mean, honestly, Donna Fairhurst, she had so much to share. I took so many notes. I was trying hard not to look at my notebook while she was talking, but I was writing the whole time she was talking. There's so much to activate here today. So, okay. So you activate what you want to activate. I'm just going to pick one thing because otherwise there's just way too much to cover. So you always start by celebrating. Step one, celebrate. You're connected with Donna and her energy is through the roof. Wow. I'm still tingling. If you don't feel the energy, you're just not paying attention. That's all there is to it. So celebrate is step one. Step two, acknowledge something you learned that really was like a shift for you. It was like an on-off switch for you. For me, it was when Donna was describing what abundance really means. And she talked about spiritual plenty and a fullness in life. I felt like I'd been hit by a lightning bolt. It was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. I just hadn't articulated it that way before. But hearing that from Donna just totally lit me up. I love that. It was so powerful. And I love the way she defined abundance with every single letter. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to go through it again or we'd be here all day. Okay, so celebrate, acknowledge, appreciate. I really appreciate the difference that definition makes for me because she is so right. Words have power. Words have incredible power. And if you've done any research in this area, I've done a lot of research here. I just read the book from Neil Donald Walsh, The God Solution. And he was just talking about how God is pure love. That's truly what it is. And I love the definitions that he used because he was saying, look, we have the choice to show up as that. And that's what I talk about too. That's what Donna talks about. And so the words you use illustrate whether the God essence in you is present in the moment. And so knowing that abundance is spiritual plenty, ding, 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 ding. It like connected all the dots. I'm starting to see this picture come together. It was so brilliant. Okay, so we celebrate, we acknowledge, we appreciate, and then we activate. We activate by picking an action or a trigger that's going to remind me to take a different action or to stay in this action. So I'm really going to pay attention to the recognition that abundance is spiritual plenty. So when I'm coming up from a space of spirit, when I'm present as spirit, meaning I'm there as pure love, it's not about me, it's through me. It's through me being love that is needed in the moment. And then recognizing the love that is present in the moment and amplifying the love that is present in the moment. That is so key. So it was absolutely brilliant having that recognition that abundance is spiritual plenty. It makes all the difference in the world. And then step 5, we celebrate again, because look at all the progress we just made in one simple interview. You have been transformed. And what I love about the 5-step activating abundance process, it delivers your 3 transformations. Because when you acknowledge something that you learned, that's a transformation. When you appreciate the difference it can make in your life, that's a transformation. When you pick an action that you're going to implement that will transform your life, it's a transformation, honey. But only you can pick your transformation. So you have to own it. You have to activate it. You can activate abundance all the time. That's what it's all about. I'm just modeling this for you. But this is something you get to do. Because when you start activating abundance, you can feel my energy. My energy is really high right now. I'm trying to stay anchored to the ground. But your energy shifts too. How cool is that? This is Elaine Starling. Thank you so much for joining me for today's abundance journey. I'll see you next time. Watch my TED Talk, Abundance is a Choice. You can visit theabundancejourney.com to find the link and discover how you can receive a special gift. You are a blessing and you are blessed.